Fast forward, any come our channel is social as one say Huxley, GH politics of any political stories and trending big headlines, and a gem ready to be exomo El Huxley. Only any evening on Rock Shemos, any day can you subscribe, share, comment. Na afe what me I like show no na boa ama dumadi no so atumi afaro ntuma pe friend ya me try pese so why inside ya ma responding time ye mon rain semu or political highways ni so na ejetua to a enya asem koto akra na ye bawura ma ye Auditor General report about Bonting when we are Yasam Kotuakra, and not any Ajamra, Yedibi Exum Enedue. Now, in realities are a war reporting under Nana Dankwa's Akuffo, under Nana Adankwa Akuffo Addo's regime, and Yaksam Kotuakra, when we ask a film Ira was so. Katasha share any prayer it me a course of our government institutions 2023-2024, when we are Eswani and so catcher. Wait, ni Ajambra, it be exumwa at this point in time. I would have 4 tracks here. Semi or Moya Mushima, Messrs. Yamu Remley when you call any day. A GH Politics Avenue.
Increasing returns 2023 8 billion, 2024 18 billion. Are we okay?
You should take responsibilities.
Yeah, so the MDs must act, and they are not acting. Look, the report is so damning that when I read it, I said, what is happening here? That an entity like Electricity Company of Ghana, they go through Goro Boys, middlemen. And that alone, we lost 251 million. And you think it's just, they don't know their left from right? You strongly believe that the MDs or the board of directors over there do not know that going to the source, which is a basic principle in business, that go to the sun would reduce the amount of money that will be expended because they are all enjoying from it. You are in this country when the former managing director, Mahama came to tell us that he has resigned for personal reasons. He didn't tell us anything. All of a sudden, someone that went and lobbied for a position says, oh, all of a sudden, I'm not interested. And we took it like that. We were there when the board chair came to tell us that, look, I'm not interested anymore. I've resigned on personal reasons. And these are their works. And you want us to sit aloof? Look, 3 things happened under the previous administration that must never happen in our...
And they should be held culpable and responsible.
Look, the issue of sole sourcing was so common under the previous administration. The issue of paying or payment to entities without contract. What is Attorney General saying? We gave Ajay in a matter of National Cathedral. You remember the president himself paid Ajay when there was no contract.
Well, he's a reputed...
Who is that reputed? I was sitting, my roommate was an architect in tech. What drawing? I even Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Burj Khalifa, you know, the tallest building. It costed no more than $2 million for the architect. Did he draw human being that could walk? We pay nonsense and therefore chop people go back and take it and we embellish it. In this report, we are told that hotel was paid a whooping amount of 75 million cedis without any contract. And you want me to take it serious? And people are not talking. Look, we must call the ECG and have a public deba. The public must be angry because we have become the recipient. There are inefficiencies. At the end of the day, we go and pay for it. Do you understand? Look, GMPC, you go and buy a property without a title deed. Which government institution would do that? You go and commit $6.3 million, and you think they don't have sense? If they were the ones going to buy property with their own money, would they have bought a property without a document? It doesn't happen. So on what basis did they establish that the very property that they were buying belonged to the actual person that they were buying from? Yet they committed money to it. They go and guarantee for the Ministry of Finance. Bust. When you have an electronic procurement system that would enable people not to defraud the state, they decided to put that electronic system out and went manual because of chop. You understand? So some of these things, Roland, we cannot take it on the lighter note. You go and call, before this audited report, the PricewaterhouseCoopers had done an audit of the ECG. They told us that they were collecting 15 billion, declaring 10 billion, and even with the 10 billion, they were making available to the cash waterfall mechanism only 6.5 billion cedis. So, well, the rest of the money, where have they kept it? We are in this country that we give money to SML.
What the
SML.
It's under investigation.
Which one is under investigation? Anybody that has ended up at Insawam started as an investigation. The political class must act. You have been given the power to act. The people in this country are suffering too much.
You think they're not biting hard enough?
You are doing scratch my back, let me scratch your back. What sort of business is this? They come and do this, and then they go away. They get away with it. You get my point. Now we are told that MPA also 280 million. Why? This country, we don't respect money or what? And so, I believe the people of this country must begin to caution, to push the government to do what is right.
So, Solo, yes. At the end of the day, why is it that something that is done by individuals who are appointed into public office, be it by the same president or appointing authority, should be blamed on the president and the entire government? Individuals should be held to account.
Yes, I mean, but
why are you saying ultimate culpability or responsibility?
Because the managers have to take they are the ones who are supposed to act in our stead. I cannot be taking decisions for the managing director of ECG. He is there to act in the best interest of the people of this country. And we are not doing that. You collect so much, you decide not to even pay We Power Authority. Look at how much We Power Authority has supplied to $729 million, and you have not paid anything to them. How do you expect them to continue to be in business? And the political class will sit down aloof and not say anything. The last time we had the former board chair, I think tell the whole country that I know a lot of connection that's happening at the ECG, but they don't do anything about it. So it has become a standing order of the day that people go there, they see it as a milking cow, they cash in on it, they make so much. At the end of the day, the Auditor General report will say that, oh, so much has been stolen. Now the auditor is saying that 15.6 million is recoverable. I don't know how we are going to recover it. If indeed 15.6 billion is recoverable, then why are we in the IMF? They should just go and recover this one. Let's go and pay IMF the balance and deal with our situations here. They will speak like this, but at the end of the day, nothing will be recovered.
They'll do nothing?
No, there is nothing that's going to be recovered.
We've come to the point where, at the end of the day, we have to talk about punishment and as well as serving as examples some level of deterrence. Lawyer, where do we move from here, apart from the appointment, the Public Accounts Committee, where they just come and rehash the normal things? There's the talk about the search that had been undertaken by Daniel Domolevo before the current Auditor General, and still people are not punished for anything.
Yes, in my introduction, I indicated that the system fought Domolevo, where he wanted to surcharge and get some of these monies. Roland, if you pay attention to some of the figures, they're staggering. For example, that's about 85 to 86% of the losses from ECG alone. And they defaulted even on their tax obligation by 70.9 million Ghana cedis. That would not happen to any private enterprise. Never. No organization or company will be allowed to default for 70.9 million Ghana. No. But who were the members of the board of directors?
Absolutely.
One of them currently is our minority leader. Minority leader.
What has he done to you?
He's done nothing to me, but he was the chair of the board for ECG. He was, and what are the duties of the board members? They are responsible for the day-to-day running of the affairs of the organization. So, and they paid, as Solo said, they had procurement through intermediaries to the tune of 251 million. Come on. We cannot allow that to... Look, I want to assure you here, except His Excellency will prove me wrong, I think he wants to leave a legacy. Look at his appointees. A lot of them are very cautious in what they do. And you think that with oral and all that he has put in place, he will allow such a colossal sum of money to go? No.
Well, lawyer, it's only this yet, is that not it?
No.
They've not even crossed a half-year period when it comes to...
That is why you will be unfair to them to whip them too much. But I believe that, for example, how can you pay Hoptel 75 million Ghana cedis without contract? That will not happen. But you see, Solo said we should be angry. The anger of the people was shown when they voted the last government out. That is a form of anger. So I believe that if NDC would like to maintain the goodwill that they enjoy up to now, they need to act on some of these things. And I'm of the firm view that there is no way the president will look at this and say, come on, let us rob somebody's back and allow this to go. This will not go unpunished. There will be recoveries, etc. Remember, there's already oral, which is really working, and there are a few things going on. So,
oral?
Yes.
The complaint is that's too slow.
No. You see, you want to... One of the reasons why a lot of the cases from the Akuffo Addo regime, the dummy prosecution, stayed until this time was that not a lot of background work was done before rushing to court. So it was becoming difficult to secure convictions. Is that what we want to do? Rush people to court and leave it that way? No, that's not what we need to do. You need to do thorough work and make sure that your evidence and what you want to present before the court is tight so that you secure conviction. So definitely, we cannot allow such a huge, colossal sum of money to go unpunished and unretrieved. Some will be retrieved.
So how do we retrieve them?
Yes.
Not just by word of mouth, like you're reiterating.
No, it's not just by... We know where the people are. We know who were the MDs. Beyond this was the PDS, which is also embedded somewhere, which we are going to come back to. We know where the people are. We know who are the ministers. We know who are the board of directors. We know who are the board members. We know who are the MDs. And we know who are the people who signed the procurement agreements. So we cannot just allow them to walk by and say, I've worked with ECG, I was the board chair, and we have put in place some mechanisms and we have solved some of the problems. When the real report is saying that a lot of money was lost. So the way it's going to be done, this will be referred to the AG, and the AG will take it up from there.
So at the end of the day, we have to make sure that as a country and a governance structure, we punish those who have to be held responsible, irrespective of which political party and the regime under which they performed or underperformed or commit acts or omissions. What do you say to that?
Agreed. But I'm really scandalized that he will sit here and talk about oral and retrieval after this letter by the Attorney General or Deputy yesterday. This is not retrieval.
Which letter
This is not the one talking about clearing the
Relax.
There is no more oral. There is oral. Operation clear all loot.
Okay.
How do you say that somebody who has done this thing, you Attorney General, you say you are trying to hold people as for loot. You are trying to say that people who have stolen money, we hold them for loot. Meanwhile, you are clearing people who are standing trial. Meanwhile, you are telling people that if you steal money, take 60%, give us and keep 40%. That is what I'm talking about. How can you say I'm talking about oral? It's oral operation what? Clear all loot. These are people who you...
Yes,
Doctor.
Please bring him some water.
No. You can't sit here and be talking about oral now. No, every NDC member should bow your head in shame and not talk about oral again because it's now oral. It's operation clear all loot. How can you sit down and say that? Are you not ashamed to say that? No, seriously. How do you say that?
Please don't interrupt.
How do you say no? How do you say that?
Dr. Jebunti Zato. No.
It's the same thing. You are talking about Attorney General. Deal with oral and now you are doing oral.
Put his mic off for me. Okay, put his mic off for me, please. All of you. So we're having a very civil conversation. And the mic works in such a way that it is not high or decibel sounds by way of the talking that is regulated. Actually, when you're monitoring the audio monitor, you are pitching. Okay. So please. Your position is that what? The Attorney General is enclosed to do this, isn't it?
I'm not agreeing that.
Okay.
Yes. You are, look, on the one hand, you promise oral to retrieve all loot.
Okay.
That was the campaign promise. You came. One of the first things you do, establish a committee to retrieve all loot. The committee has presented with you. You have prepared a prosecution to retrieve all loot. At the same time, you are prosecuting somebody who looted the state. You are prosecuting somebody who, and now all of a sudden you relate and tell the person, yeah, I know you've looted the state. There's no, you have not established your innocence in law. By the way, keep 60, give us 60% of what you are alleged to have stolen. Keep 40% and go home. Does that sound like retrieve all loot to you? Does that sound like, how scary is that? Does that sound like it will scare current people from doing that? Does that sound like it will scare managers of state-owned enterprise from doing that? Does that sound like it will scare people to do that? At the same time, this is the same Attorney General who is prosecuting the National Signals guy for stealing how much? Will the Attorney General make the same deal to that guy? Will you tell that guy, no matter how much you've stolen, give us 60%, keep 40%? Will he give that deal to him?
So your position is that the path on which the Attorney General has undertaken, where he files nolle prosequi on ongoing cases, doesn't add to the argument.
It's not only it's this particular case.
This very particular.
No, you want to understand something.
You're talking about Unibank.
Yes, I've heard people say that when it came to the ambulance Akuffo cases, the legal basis was shaky. I've heard lawyers say that. And that's some of the cases, the legal basis was kind of shaky. But nobody has said that about this Popular Default case. Nobody has said that the legal basis is shaky. Nobody has said that. You are, this is the guy, and in fact, the guy is in court. You are in court prosecuting the case. And then you come out and say, give us 60% of whatever it is. So if the man was alleged to have stolen 10 million, give us 6 million. The 4 million, keep it. Go home free. That is your, and is that Operation Recover? Does that sound to you like recover all loot? Remember, it's Operation Recover all loot, not some loot. It's like Operation Recover all loot, not 60% of the loot. But you have done that. That's what I'm saying. And now I'm asking myself some question. Mustafa Hamid was charged. The signals that Kwabna Buahin was charged. Wuntumi is being charged. Will you give them these sweetheart deals? Will the Attorney General tell them, or they tell them, look, whatever you are alleged to have stolen, keep 60%, give us 60%, keep 40%. Will he give them so deals? This is not justice. This is Mickey Mouse justice. This is not justice. This is Tom and Jerry justice. This is not justice. This is Animal Farm justice. You don't do this as Attorney General and believe that I think that you are bringing confidence to the judicial system. Come on. Somebody should give us a break.
Okay. So give me a summary of all that you are saying.
The summary is that the actions and inactions of this Attorney General is based purely on partisan favoritism. If you are our friend...
What's that got to do with discussing matters of public interest in which the Auditor General establishes clearly that in excess, some 10-point-something billion hasn't been accounted for? Irregularities in making those accounts.
Thank you. We said that. Just opposed it with the public accounts.
And this
committee.
is from 2023 to
Agreed.
2024. What's your point?
People are not scared enough to waste public money. People didn't know that if they are powerful enough, if they are connected enough, they can waste these resources and they will get a knowledge prosecutor. That's what I'm saying. We should have used these processes to put fear into public servants, and to put fear into politicians.
But there were prosecutions that were undertaken by the Akuffo, Addo, Bawumia.
Exactly. Agreed.
I have the NCA case, for example. There's even Atto Asian.
Thank you. Atto Asian is sitting in prison
the Bank
now.
of Ghana.
He's sitting in prison now with a similar thing about the bank cleaner. He has offered to pay, but the state he said in jail. Imagine Atto Asian were to read this letter from the Attorney General today. Imagine he was to read it. Imagine his lawyers were to read to realize that the man put money on the table, but he's still in jail. Meanwhile, you're telling this people, walk, give us only 60%. Imagine he reads it.
That cannot be true.
But that is true. He offered to pay money. Atto Asian offered to pay money.
In the Atto Asian case, he was asked to pay the money. He was not able to pay fully the money. He paid 30 million.
Good. But the idea then becomes this. You are now introducing a new idea. Look at all the knowledge prosecutors presented. Look at all the people presented knowledge prosecutors. They are all members of the NDC or associate members of the NDC. So it's like saying that once you are a member of the NDC, one of your friends, you get a walkout of jail-free card.
Who said that?
That is what the knowledge prosecutors have been. I'm telling you, all the knowledge prosecutors presented so far, all of them. They have been about NDC members or former NDC appointees. All of them go home free. But now we are the people in court. The Sky Train thing is the IPP guys. The Signals thing is IPP guys. Chairman Wuntumi is IPP guy. Mustafa Hamid. You are prosecuting. My point is, how are you on the one hand you are trying to recover loot, and then on the left hand you are trying to what? Clear all loot. How do you do that among yourselves?
But okay, he was former. Now he's president.
Yes.
You remember the Jida case?
Yes, yes.
So we had Abu Gapele jailed,
yes.
a number of individuals jailed as well.
Yes.
So you also have that in the current regime. There's even an investigation that has been ordered by the Attorney General to Iyoko to investigate
Amin and Abanga, which I agree is a positive development.
Okay. So my question then is, can that be said that a tool like knowledge prosecutor are being administered or undertaken or used by the Attorney General defeats the whole purpose and rationale to be able to prosecute your own?
So, first of all...
As a deterrent for financial irregularity.
First of all, the Attorney General has the power to, as it were, use the knowledge prosecutor. But I have a difficulty with what the Attorney General has done. I mean, especially when he's not under any compulsion to explain the reasons for the knowledge prosecutor. So if you go ahead to give us explanations, then we are entitled to question the various explanations that have been given. I thought that if there is anybody who has done a damning job to do for us credibility, is the letter that has been issued by the Attorney General.
Okay.
Because the statement issued by the Attorney General clearly says that you are paid 60%. Are you with me? What 60%? You didn't tell us. How much does that 60% constitute? Now, the same statement also says that this does not exonerate him of any wrongdoing. So you admit that there has been a wrongdoing. So if there is any wrongdoing, why then must the state suffer Why then must the state rather go in for 60% and not 100% plus an interest? It's a difficulty. And I believe that the Attorney General shouldn't have done this. If indeed you wanted to say null prosequa, you are not mandated by any, but once this is your explanation, then going forward, I believe that any null prosequa that any Attorney General issues, they have to give us an explanation. Sometimes the explanations might be weak.
Okay.
You understand?
So that's where your problem.
And has a cascading effect. So, for instance, we know that the National Service, scandal. We are talking about 548 million Ghana cedis. By this principle, are you going to tell me that you are only going to take 60% of 548 million? What sort of life is this? Hey, people must be serious. We didn't come here to play.
So you're saying what's good for the goose must be good for the...
Look, I'm telling you, every penny that has been stolen from this state must be returned. It is not for them.
How about we put this in context?
Yes.
In that there was a banking crisis that happened.
Yes.
And it's also because if you comprehensively review the Boulders reports that was undertaken from 2016 and all that, and then the things that needed to be done by the Bank of Ghana to ensure that those who were at the helm of affairs, whether they're shareholders, they were directors of those banks, being the assigned reasons for which some of those banks went into administration, etc., had really, looking at the powers that they had and then the authority they had, abused them. As a result of that, the government at the time said depositors' funds, etc., were at risk. Of course, there's Frankie Du who says that that decision, even though was one option, the other option of punishing those shareholders and the directors was better. So that you,
Rolla,
if you put that into context.
Yes, one of the reasons I had problem with the MPP, particularly with Akuffo, was my stance on this banking sector.
Into way and some horror TV course watching on us one was so Jim or Harrison is over in the Dumbia Domini, and we are young Roman, now young Sumo or Quason Zukra, a GH Politics Avenue.